8 signs of low emotional intelligence. Before starting the video, if you are new here, please subscribe. Low emotional intelligence means not being very good at understanding and handling emotions, both in yourself and others. It's like not being able to read and use emotions effectively in your thoughts and actions. Think about someone you might know who struggles to control their feelings or understand how others feel. They might often say or do things that upset people without realizing it, or find it hard to take feedback without getting defensive. If you recognize these traits in someone, they might have low emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, sometimes called EQ, is super important in life. It's like how smart you are with emotions. Some experts even say it's more crucial for success in life than IQ, which measures how book smart you are. So, having a low EQ or emotional intelligence can really affect how you get along with others and even how you feel in your mind and body. When a person has low emotional intelligence, it shows in various ways. In this video, we'll talk about common signs that someone might have low emotional intelligence. Number 1, they always have to be right. You might know someone who always wants to prove they are right and argue a lot. It could be a friend, a family member, a coworker, or even a stranger. People with low EQ tend to argue their point strongly and won't listen to others. Even if you show them evidence that they're mistaken, they'll still say they're right. They always want to win the argument and can't accept that people can have different opinions. This is especially true if others criticize them for not understanding how others feel. Number 2, people with low IQ don't notice or understand how others feel. It's like they're in their own world and might be really surprised when their friend or coworker is upset with them. And what's more, they can get frustrated when someone expects them to know what the other person is feeling. Imagine you have a friend who sometimes doesn't realize when you're sad or upset. It's as if they don't notice or understand your feelings very well. And when you're mad at them, they might act surprised and not understand why you're upset. Sometimes, they might even get a bit annoyed if you expect them to understand your feelings without you saying anything. It can be tricky to communicate with them about how you're feeling. Number 3, people with low emotional intelligence often struggle to say or do the right thing in sensitive situations. They may not realize when it's appropriate to speak or what to say. For instance, they might unintentionally say something hurtful at a funeral or crack a joke right after something sad has happened. And when you express that their comments were inappropriate, they may not understand why you're upset and brush it off as you being too sensitive. Because they find it hard to understand how others are feeling, it's difficult for them to figure out the emotional vibe in a situation and respond accordingly. Number 4, they blame others for their problems. Some people, especially those with low emotional intelligence, struggle to see how their own feelings can cause problems. These individuals tend to avoid taking responsibility for their mistakes. When something goes wrong, instead of admitting their own errors, their first reaction is to find someone or something else to blame. They might say they had no choice but to do what they did and claim that others don't understand their situation. For instance, if they look at your messages without permission, they'll say it's your fault for not locking your phone. If they mess up at work, break something, don't get a job, or burn dinner, they'll somehow find a way to shift the blame onto someone else. 5, they have poor coping skills. An inability to cope with emotionally charged situations can be an indicator of low EQ. Strong emotions, whether their own or those of others, are difficult to comprehend for those with low emotional intelligence. These individuals will often walk away from these situations to avoid having to deal with the emotional fallout. Hiding their true emotions is also very common. 6, they lose control of their emotions. Emotional intelligence includes being able to handle our feelings. People with low emotional intelligence sometimes have trouble managing their emotions. They might explode with anger or frustration without really knowing why or what's causing it. Someone with low emotional intelligence might also have sudden emotional outbursts that seem way too big and hard to control. Even tiny things can make them start yelling or getting upset, and these outbursts can go on for a long time, like several minutes or even hours. 7, they have a hard time with friendships. People with low EQ usually don't have many close friends. That's because close friendships need both people to share feelings, care about each other, and provide emotional support. People with low EQ usually struggle with these things and might seem unfriendly. 8, they turn conversations toward themselves. Emotionally unintelligent people tend to dominate the conversation. Even if they are asking questions and appear to be listening intently, they always find a way to shift everything back to them. Usually, they have to prove that whatever you're experiencing, they've had it better or worse. No matter what you say, they've been there, done that. You've been in a car accident. They have ... and their dog died. Going to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. They climbed Mount Everest 4 years ago. They can send you a list of tips if you want. Having low emotional intelligence can totally mess up your whole life. But guess what? You can totally level up and become an emotional genius. Mastering these skills can totally transform your personal and professional relationships into something out of this world.